I wanted to make a quick video to share with you guys some very, very interesting information that I will probably end up going into more depth about because it's quite significant, and I think this is happening to a number of different consumer items, among other things like materials, clothing, blah, blah, blah. So after listening to the interview that Lookoutfa Charlie did with, I'm sorry, I cannot remember the woman's name or her channel name. I'm terrible. I apologize, but I will link it eventually. When I find it, I'll link it below. And she started talking about how drug addicts or former addicts or users or psychonauts talked about there being like a shift from analog to digital in the early 2000s. And I never ever thought I'd hear another person say that out loud, but I know exactly what they're talking about. Anyway, the host, who asked fantastic questions and is very good at her job, talked about her DOC, drug of choice, was getting what's it called when they alter the chemical composition of it, just getting messed with and adding this graphene fungal nonsense to it. So I learned a bunch of things from that. This coincides with an eternally unfortunate doctor's appointment I made with what I thought was a credible Chinese herb specialist, and for lupus, because this is like almost like 10 plus years ago. I don't even remember. It was before I was like fully awake. And it was way before I realized what was actually happening to me. They recommended I start taking kratom. I pronounce it kratom because the correct pronunciation is kratom, but I'm American. But I don't say kratom because that just sounds dumb. Kratom is not a good thing in any way, unless you do not have an addictive personality and you also have a UV light. That's what this is the whole point of this video. Started taking it, worked great for years, and then I realized how addicted I was. And then I've spent the last 6 years, I've taken it for 6 years. I've spent about 3 trying to get off of it. It's incredibly difficult to get off of. It's a pandemic you don't hear about. And it's a trap that a lot of people end up falling into when they look for anxiety remedies, because it is very good for anxiety. I will give it that. It's good at a lot of stuff. A little too good, you know? In my opinion, it should be scheduled as much as heroin, but there's a reason why it's not. It's because they're putting this crap in the kratom. I know this because I remembered, after I heard that interview, I remembered that my boyfriend has this like UV light sanitizer. So I started putting my very like anally maintained dosage schedule doses into this UV light sanitizer. And I was probably just as shocked as I was the first time I realized that the detox actually works. Because I think the reason why some of y'all aren't having success with this detox, aside from refusing to believe the premise and refusing to try it, which you just pay more and more every day for no reason. Just FYI, you can do the detox at any point. And if you're in a hard financial situation and you need help with the detox products, hit me up. bethisareallizard@gmail.com. I'm an artist. I'm not made of money, but I'm I want humans to succeed, especially people who are super sensitive to this nonsense. Anyway, you may be taking something. It may be a prescription drug, it may be a supplement, it may be a vitamin, it may be something that you eat, something you drink. I have a feeling this is in all alcohol pretty much. So get a UV light sanitizer. They're not expensive and they work. And try putting whatever you might suspect, like meditate and ask nicely, can you please tell me if any of my stuff is being adulterated with graphene oxide fungus and Schwanella graphene, I don't know what, biofilm, nanotech, and then just give it a try. I was shocked. I still am shocked. Like, I'm at the beach feeling like a normal ass human being, and it is worth everything I had to go through to get to this point. And if and when you decide to do the same thing, you're going to be sitting happy and fancy just like me. Remember that. I believe in you. Don't give up. Give it a shot. Stick to it no matter how much you think it's not working. And like I said, if there is something you take, whether it's from the street or from your doctor, because remember, I got addicted to stupid kraDUMB by a holistic doctor, or not a holistic retard. I don't know what she was. She said, it's not addictive. Oh, yeah, okay. Tell that to the millions of people who are trying to get off of it. Probably higher than that. There's a reason why it's outlawed in so many countries. But anyway, and states. Try a UV light with like your water. You can get a plasma cleaner too that I think has a very similar effect, because ultimately they're the same thing. Ether. So I think, if you're not seeing results, it might be because you keep reinfecting yourself without knowing it, like I have been doing. And the irony of all of this, I have to make a separate video on this, but this is my favorite part. This whole time I thought it was like, I'll go through my theories on who I thought it was over the years. And there's the possibility that they weren't somehow involved, but the person who infected me is me. I did that. I made those choices. So if I had not put so much faith in a woman who already was kind of giving me sketchy vibes and fallen for the dangling carrot of kratom, I would not, I don't think, be where I am today. So I'm thankful for everything that has happened, but I want you guys to know that I'm almost positive. I'm sure. I feel like I stumbled onto something. If there's something you take, just give it a 5-minute bath of UV light and one of those little box things. You can find them all over Amazon. They have flashlights, but then you like have to stand there because it needs to do this for like 5 minutes or 10, and it can melt certain types of gelatin or vegan capsules. So just know that. Not bad, but it just warps them a little bit if they're very close to the bulbs. Just try that. Try zapping it and see what your results are when you do the detox. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a lovely day. So generally when I come to this spot, I get a lot of electronic interference, and it has soured my trips to the beach, but it hasn't ruined them. And right now, for the first time in a long time, I don't feel anything. And I've been using that UV light for 3 days, I think. So please do a mental inventory and just consider it. It might save your life.